Hello everybody, my name is Ardalan Qilavizadeh. Today I want to talk about the propagation saffron bulbs. Propagation saffron bulbs, without doubt, the most important part in the growing saffron indoors. You should have the great overview of the outside saffron farm. Now, here we are in the traditional saffron farm in the Tehran. I want to show you, as you can see, full of the wheat, full of the other grass. In the growing saffron indoors, we don't have any one grass. The majority of the saffron farms like this, because in the winter, it is very hard removing the weeds. Now, I want to talk about the propagation. If you know, because sometimes the 80% is the same. Growing saffron outdoors with the growing saffron indoors. If you should know, if you have the great knowledge, 100% knowledge about the growing saffron outdoors, helps to growing saffron indoors, especially for the growing in the propagation phase. Very important. In the 3 months of the winter, propagation will happen. Exactly in the 3 months, we should give fertilizer. Saffron bulbs only in the 3 months need to the fertilizer, need to the water, 3 months of the winters. And very vital, this is very critical stage for now we are at the end of the propagation, because now we are in the last months of the winter in the Iran, in the north hemisphere. I want to show you what happened for the saffron bulbs. I want to talk about the propagation saffron bulbs. Very important. What is your rule? What should we do? Because the saffron bulbs near the 10 years with you. If you have a take care of the saffron bulbs, these bulbs near the propagate. It doesn't need you purchase saffron bulbs every year. It is only once you purchase the bulbs, and you will take care of the bulbs for the 10 years, for the 15 years, sometimes for 20 years with you the bulbs. If you take care of the bulb in the propagation, you should know what climate is good for the propagation, which temperature. Now I want to show you. This is a saffron in the outside. Want to show you. Because I don't edit the movie, and now we are near. Show you, are very near. We are very near to one very good bulbs. You can see the bulbs. Another is a small, but it's a good bulbs. This is in the propagation phase. Another bulbs. We have another bulbs. Let me try again. Another one. Super. Now, yeah. I want to hunt the bulbs. Amazing. Very small. Now they are all saffron bulbs. All saffron bulbs. At the first step, you should identify the saffron plants. For example, saffron bulbs, this is the leaves of the saffron. You know, this is, you should identify, these are not saffron. Only saffron has this. Okay, I want to show you. This is saffron leaves. Now this is the bulbs. Look, this is the near 20 gram, 22 gram is the suitable for the growing saffron indoors. This is the suitable. We harvested. Now they are at the end of the propagation. Now as you can see, we have also time for increasing the weight of bulbs. Your task for propagation is increasing the weight of bulbs. Increase, very important. It's better for the propagation. It's much better. The number of the bulbs should be low, but the weight should be high. You know, sometimes amateurs tell me we have 1 ton saffron bulb from 200 kilogram saffron bulb, but the size of each bulb is small. This is not suitable. The number should be low. The size of each should be high. Let me give you an example. For example, thank you. For example, 100 kilogram saffron bulbs with the weight of each bulb with a 20 gram, 25 gram is better than 20 tons, but the weight of each bulb 10 gram, 8 gram. Therefore, the size of each bulb is important, because the size of each bulb give you flowers, not total. 100 kilogram heavy bulb is better 20 tons, 100 tons, 1 million tons bulbs, even the 100 gram. Because in the saffron indoors, your bulb should be has a weight over 18 gram, over 20 gram. Now you can see the majority of the are suitable, big, but some of them very small because they didn't complete and they have time. Let me give you example. What should we do for the have a heavy bulbs? Now I would like I show you. This is, you know, this is a saffron. This is a saffron leaves. Okay, this is the saffron leaves near the 1 meters. Okay, near the 1 meters. Your task in the 3 months of the winter, you should always keep them green. Now they are, as you can see, the tip of these are yellow. Why? Because we are at the end of the propagation. We are at the beginning. Now in the Iran, we are in the spring. Okay, now is the normal. But if you see at the beginning of the transporting to greenhouse to the, if you see the tip of this yellow is, if at the beginning of the propagation you see the bulb will be decreased, it's not suitable. At the end of the propagation, 3 months of the winter, they were completely green. They were completely fresh, like this. Therefore, your task is always keep them green, like this. Now, this is only 10% is the yellow. What should I do? The climate, what should we do for the have a green? Because the bulbs in the 3-way receive the nutrients for increasing bulbs via leaves, via roots, and the nutrients inside mother bulbs for the previous mother bulb, that gave you what flower. In the 3-way, the most important part in the 3-way is the leaves. Then your leaves in the 3 months of the winter, even the 4 months, more time is the green, the saffron bulbs will be heavy. Okay, they are numerous. Immediately after flowering, the bulb should be faced with soil. This is the most important part. Immediately that you see flowers, they should face with the material, substrate material that I explain in my book. What is the best material for the propagation? I have put in my book with a special formula. You can order it. And another thing is the climate. Climate is very important. In this climate, we don't have any control in the climate. Sometimes go for the 0, sometimes go for the 30, sometimes go for the -2, sometimes go for the other. But in the saffron farm, everything in the growing saffron indoors, in the vertical farming, everything is under control. What is the best temperature? The temperature between 10 to 20 centigrade is the suitable for having always green. The climate is very important, and the fertilizer, the nitrogen, phosphor, potassium. Okay, the nitrogen, phosphor, potassium is very important, that I understood completely in my book. After the beginning of the propagation, we should give the nutrients like the nitrogen, phosphor, potassium, and like the seaweed fertilizer, also humic acid in the beginning. We give via roots, and at the end of the winter, at the end of propagation. Now exactly in this stage we should give the trace element like the iron, like the manganese, like the copper, and like this, plus the sulfurous. This is a very important, that really helpful in the green. Therefore some factors help us to having green. Your task is the 3 months of the winter always should be green. What should I do? The climate. For example, a farmer is not able to control the climate, but in the saffron farm, the temperature between the 10 to 20 centigrade. Other things, the time after the flowering, after the finishing flowering, immediately should be faced with the substrate. Another thing is the irrigation, the water. Nearly 90% of the bulbs is including the water. Water helps to the increasing the weight. Some farmers are afraid of the giving the water. For example, this is near the 10 hectare. 1 hectare, for 1 hectare in the 1 year, saffron bulbs near the 10 tons we can in the 1 hectare we can cultivate, and the farmer should be near the 3,000 cubic meter water for the 10 tons in the 1 hectare. Too much water. In the vertical farming also we should give water, but not as much as this, because this is the numerous outside. We have the evaporation, we have the windy weather, they are help. But if you want to give this water in the indoor farm, it's faced with the problem. Therefore we shouldn't give the water than in the outside, in the indoor for the propagation. Nearly, sometimes you should see, you should check your climate, sometimes 30%. For example, in the outside, if we give the 3,000 cubic meter, we should in the indoor sometimes 1,000 cubic meter. We should investigate, we should see the size of the bulb. This is all needs that explain also in my book, explain what should you do with the water step by step in the propagation time. Therefore I wanted to show you the climate. Therefore if you want to have a heavy bulbs, the saffron leaves should be always green. Climate, feeding fertilizer, the amount of the irrigations, and preventing. And some material like salicylic acid, like the potassium, if you face, in the outside, always I recommend to farmers, to my students, that you should use to the humic acid, salicylic acid, because they don't have control in the climate. Sometimes if the temperature go down, for example the -10, -20 or the over 30 centigrade, they should give humic acid, because these material like the humic acid and the potassium very helpful in the stress, in the cold fluctuation temperature, in the cold shocking, in the warm shocking. Because if the temperature go minus and over 25 centigrade, immediately start to the becoming yellow. If you see completely yellow, it means this finish the increasing the weight, finish. If you have the yellow complete, but if the tip of the yellow, we can compensate with the back to the temperature for the giving. But if you completely yellow, it means that the finish, you should stop the watering, you should stop the giving fertilizer. Therefore after the 3 months, if completely becoming yellow, no problem, no problem. But if 2 weeks after the flowering, 3 weeks after flowering, completely yellow, this means you have some problems in the fertilizer, in the watering. You should compensate in the book. If you need my book, text me on WhatsApp 00989358253945. Thank you.